Daniel Negreanu is looking down at 10-9 suited. Pre-flop brings together two distinct ends of the poker spectrum.
How much is that? Eight straddle this time?
10-9 of diamonds for Daniel.
Always have to, double check.
The action begins with Negreanu raising to 2,500. It is a classic Negreanu hand, connected, suited, and perfect for navigating post-flop without putting his entire stack at risk.
I'm gonna win this one.
That's what they call a three-barrel bluff, right?
That's what it's called. Hey, by the way, when you do the video on three-barrel bluffs.
Three-barrel bluffs.
That's gonna be.
Here's an example of a three-barrel bluff.
Salmon, sitting in the big blind with 4-3 suited, decides to defend. The flop is an absolute action board. For Salmon, this is the gin flop without actually having a mate hand. He holds a massive combo draw, an open-ended straight draw combined with a flush draw. However, the action goes surprisingly passive. The turn brings the jack, a card that favors the pre-flop raiser's range much more than the caller's. Now, Salmon decides to take the lead. He fires a bet of 6,000. It is a delayed semi-bluff, having missed the check-raise opportunity on the flop. He is now trying to muscle Negreanu off a hand, like ace-high or a small pair. Negreanu, however, has picked up a gut-shot straight draw to go with his overcards. Relying on his read that Salmon is likely betting a draw, Negreanu makes a sticky call with just 10 high. The river is the 3, a fascinating card. It pairs Salmon's hand. While it is a weak hand, it currently beats Negreanu's 10 high. Salmon, now holding showdown value but fearing a jack, checks. This check is the green light Negreanu was waiting for.
Daniel fires.
Oh man.
12,000.
Why didn't you bet the freaking flop?
Why didn't I bet the flop?
Yeah.
I didn't have anything on the flop.
Yeah, I know. But why? Such a bummer. Because I had 3-4 clubs. I'm gonna.
Oh, you had 3-4 clubs, so you were ready to just...
Yeah, I'm gonna dump all my money in there for sure. Now I got a pair and I gotta make a decision. Sort of sucks.
It sort of sucks.
How much is it? 12,200. Yeah, I think you got a jack for some reason.
No.
While I'm bluffing, I might as well just keep doing it, right? Until they call eventually.
Kid, you're just gonna own this table, huh?
gonna
You
keep
are
bluffing.
just gonna pound until we just hold on with ace high.
Damn. I'm in bluff mode.
I hit a pair and didn't call. What a bad player.
Negreanu is holding pocket fives and he's raising to 95,000. He's up against the legends Tom Dwan with pocket 9s and Phil Ivey with pocket 10s.
Over to Tom Dwan.
That's not a hand Dwan would fold, not against Daniel, and definitely not in a $250,000 buy-in. Tom looks like he's thinking, I'm pretty sure he shouldn't flat and trap, but rather crank up the pressure early.
Dwan has just made a call with pocket 9s. Perhaps at another time he might have raised. Oh, check this out. Phil Ivey's picked up pocket 10s.
Yeah,
and
I'm pretty
he's
surprised.
Just called.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised by the flat call from Phil. It's usually a spot where you'd like to squeeze, especially the fact that he's on the button. It's going to look pretty fishy and quite possibly have someone play back at him.
Ike Haxton folds.
The flop comes 3 queen 6, 2 spades. Negreanu opened with pocket 5s, whiffed the flop completely, and now he's first to act on this board, with Dwan and Ivey behind him, who are not exactly known for playing nice when they smell weakness.
Misses all of them. A check from Daniel. This will be interesting.
I don't think any of the three of them are going to be too thrilled with that flop, to be honest. Queen's certainly in the calling range of Tom and Phil. Hands like King Queen, Ace Queen. I expect Phil will just check this back as well.
Phil does. We'll see a turn.
The turn is the 4 of clubs, and things are starting to line up for some sneaky draws. No one took a stab on the flop, which means this pot's still up for grabs, and Negreanu knows it.
And given the fact that he was a pre-flop aggressor, both players have checked back the flop.
He does take a stab.
Dwan isn't just thinking about his cards. He's scanning Daniel and Phil like he's picking up frequencies. These guys are playing poker on a different level. Every glance, every pause, every chip toss. There's a language here only the elite understand, and Dwan is fluent.
I think Tom is more than happy to peel one here with 9s. He's got to assume that Daniel's going to bet a queen on the flop there.
Well, he's got his eye on both Daniel and Phil, looking at across the table to both players, and he smooth calls here. So round to Phil Ivey, and this is a tough spot.
Even though he does have the best hand, it's probably correct to fold.
Yeah, well, Phil Ivey kind of stuck there. Tom Dwan now eyes only on Daniel Negreanu, and the river's a 2 of hearts.
And Daniel gets there.
Oh, Daniel checking. He's going to try and trap him. And look at this, it might work. Dwan reaching for chips.
I check.
Oh, wow. Tom Dwan checks. Daniel not happy.
I don't bet my friends, you know? I don't bet my friends.
Wow, Dwan's really relieved.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at pocket sevens. Pre-flop creates a fascinating collision between two distinct eras of poker. The live read intuition of Negreanu and the high-volume mathematical precision of the online legend, Randy Lou. The action begins with a raise to 1,600 from the loose cannon, who is holding pocket nines. Negreanu, sitting in position with pocket sevens, elects to flat call. This is a staple of Negreanu's small ball strategy. He wants to see a flop cheaply and use his post-flop skills to navigate, rather than bloating the pot with a marginal pair. However, Randy Lou wakes up in the small blind with pocket queens. Recognizing the dead money and the capped strength of the caller, Lou executes a textbook squeeze play, 3-betting to 6,000.
I know you coming in. Hurry up.
You know it, right? So you raised anyway. What is that all about?
What's that?
You knew I was calling, but you raised anyway.
You're reading too much into it, man.
I don't want to level myself here. I just want to try to flop a set, hit a set, and get it in. Can we do that? Huh?
Yeah, I'm paired in.
Well, if I'm trying to flop a set, what do you think I started with?
The stage is set, an overpair against a set minor, a classic recipe for a cooler. The flop falls a disconnected and dry texture that is an absolute dream for Lou's pocket queens. There are no flush draws and no overcards to his pair. Lou continues his aggression with a bet of 8,000. He is extracting value from hands like pocket eights to tens, as well as any jack that Negreanu might have peeled with. Negreanu, however, is not ready to go away.
It's an interesting situation, okay? Because I have 3 threes right now. You don't believe that?
I don't know.
How much
I believe
is it?
a lot of people. I believe a lot of people.
So the best way to play this against you, based on previous hands, is to call, raise river, I think. Okay? So that's plan A. I might change my mind, but plan A is call, ship river.
All right.
That's plan A. You like that? I'm just gonna tell him, whatever.
I'm a little worried.
The turn brings the 7, the card that flips the script entirely. It is the doom card for Lou. Negreanu spikes a 2-outer to make a set of 7s. The dynamic shifts from a marginal float to a monster trap. Lou, unaware of the disaster that has just struck, fires a second barrel of 20,000. He believes his queens are still the best hand and wants to charge draws or a stubborn jack. Negreanu's response is pure class.
He doesn't believe me. I seriously say I'm gonna do that, and he doesn't care. Oh gosh.
Everyone lies. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Word on the street.
So is plan A still the plan? I'd like to defer.
You gotta respect internet guys that chat during hands. That's a very rare thing, and to that, hats off. He's chatted in the middle. If somebody's dialoguing with him, he just opens the door and goes there.
Oh.
Even I don't do that. I try not to,
So it's
but
a
I do
mistake?
it.
Is that a mistake? Thanks for the...
I'm leveling myself too much. I call.
Daniel calls.
If I keep thinking, I'm gonna screw up really bad.
This is awesome. We're still sticking to the plan.
The river is the ace, a scare card that complicates the board. It hits Lou's bluffing range, but also potentially scares a pair of queens. However, Lou decides to turn his hand into a polarized value bet bluff hybrid. He fires a massive 47,800. He is representing the ace, trying to fold out a jack or a smaller pair.
I'm now worried that you just made 3 aces. How much does he have? How much did he bet?
Fired 47,800.
I told you I have 3 threes and you just don't care, or you have that beat, right?
Well, if I talk too much, I might let you know what I have.
Bro, the thing is, when you talk, you might get the other result. You might get wins that you shouldn't have got, etc. You know.
That's true.
It's not all.
How light is Daniel thinking of calling this time?
What's he got left? Let's see. I can't see. Just lift your hand. That's good. It really smells like aces.
Does that mean Daniel was already beating a pair of aces?
Pocket aces? Oh, it's a difference. I can't fold anyway.
Calls.
Queens.
Turn to set.
Wow.
Nice hand.
Daniel Negreanu was looking down at Queen 10 offsuit. Pre-flop showcases the aggressive, wide-range strategy that defines Randy Lou's online background. Lou opens the pot to 1,400 holding 9-5 offsuit.
Someone needs a 3-bet for me to play.
To an amateur, this looks like a reckless play with a trash hand, But for a high-volume grinder like Lou, this is about board coverage and stealing the blinds. He is attacking the players, not playing his cards.
You're gonna have to be the hero this hand.
You know you want to play some hands.
Huh?
You know you want to play some hands.
I do. I want to play some hands with you.
Negreanu, sitting in the big blind, is not going to let the young pro run him over. He defends his blind with a standard call.
Now we're heads up again, and I'm gonna check in the dark. Old school.
Did you check?
I check in the dark, yeah.
All right.
That's verbal.
I can't do that online, so
Right,
it's a little weird.
Lou, adhering to the always be aggressive philosophy, fires a continuation bet of 2,000. He is representing the king, hoping to fold out Negreanu's ace highs or weak pocket pairs.
Double check to see if I have king 3 of spades. I do, so I'm gonna call.
Here, Negreanu makes a move that separates the legends from the good players. Despite having absolutely nothing but queen high no pair and no draw, he makes the call.
You know, gentleman's game, you'd raise and tell me what you have now.
Gentleman's game?
Gentleman's game.
Sticking to his plan, Lou, realizing that Negreanu is sticky and that a second bullet might be lighting money on fire with 9 high, decides to give up on the bluff. He checks back. This check is the information Negreanu was waiting for.
Well, I'm obviously gonna bet now because you checked the turn. Seems pretty standard. Gotta bet something. So I'll bet like, what will you call with? I mean, I gotta figure out because you're a math guy. So 4, 5, 6. I gotta bet 31 because you might call that with ace high.
No, I don't even have ace high though.
Oh, you don't? So I had you beat on the flop anyway.
Daniel's
Okay,
better
cool.
win the pot.
Yeah, I did.
Wow, it's sick. I had 7-3 offsuit.
Oh, you would have lost. King 3 of spades. Really? When I said it, I didn't even know if the king or 3 spades was out there. I was just hoping I didn't screw myself.
So you didn't have it, Dan?
I did not have king 3 of spades.
That kind of hurts. You didn't
I
tell
did
the
have you
truth.
beat though, at all times. Actually, what I did there was it's called a soul read.
Soul
Yeah,
read?
when you bet the flop, yeah, it was a little bit of a soul read. I called you with nothing, and then I hit a queen. That's what happened. And then I was like, sweet.
I mean, you're really tricking me. I can't tell if you're telling the truth or not.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at 8-7 suited. Pre-flop reveals the exploitable nature of playing too many hands against world-class opposition. Lou opens the action to 1,400 with Queen 8 offsuit. From a game theory perspective, opening this hand from early to middle position is incredibly loose. It is a hand that is often dominated and plays poorly post-flop.
I'm gonna play
I
tight.
like being in position.
Lock is out.
because then you got to go first. I love it.
I gotta go first.
Kenny calls.
However, Lou relies on his post-flop volume experience to outplay opponents. The flop comes down a texture that is wet, connected, and heavily favors the calling ranges rather than the pre-flop raiser. Despite this, after Kenny checks, Lou decides to fire a continuation bet of 2,500. This bet is somewhat habitual. Lou is betting simply because he was the aggressor.
C-bet.
I remember his C-bet percentage. What was it? 78%, so I guess I got to call. Your check rate percentage is so low on flops in this spot, so I wasn't worried about you.
Yeah. Not worried is right.
However, the board hits Negreanu perfectly. He has flopped middle pair with his 7, along with backdoor equity. The turn card is the 2. Lou, realizing that his continuation bet failed to shake Negreanu, decides to shut down. He checks, effectively waving the white flag. This is a critical moment for Negreanu.
Check.
Lou checks.
All right, check's good.
Queen high.
No good.
Daniel takes it down.
Got pairs.
Nice hand.
Thank you, sir. Your C-bet percentage from online, I remember being very high, and your 3-bet percentage was 29%. Heads up. Do you remember that?
But that's heads up. This is 6 max.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's still kind of short. But your C-bet's super high, so I'm gonna call with pairs on flops, just so you know.
Really?
Yeah. You love that kind of talk. Isn't that sexy?
No.
C-bet percentage, check raise flop. Ooh, what's your PFR and your aggro factor?
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at 6-5 offsuit, but he's up against his nemesis of 20 years, Phil Ivey, who's holding King-Jack suited. Ivey raises to 75,000. Most players would probably fold in Daniel's spot.
No choice, can't fold it. Gotta see a flop in the big blind.
There's the call. So it's Daniel versus Phil.
Ivey is 64% favorite for now, but the flop comes 8-6-6 and Negreanu hits trips.
I don't see Phil falling for this.
Phil checks too. I don't know how, but he can somehow feel Daniel is strong here.
A king on the turn.
Now I see him falling for it a little.
Negreanu wants Phil second-guessing every assumption. Wants him trapped between is he bluffing and is he setting me up? What looks like hesitation is actually misdirection. This is less about cards, more about control.
Daniel leads. Phil now with top pair.
Even if you think Daniel has a 6, you can't just go folding top pair.
Negreanu's sizing here leaves Ivey about 3.5 to 1 on a call. And with top pair, that's usually a no-brainer. But what Daniel's really doing here is laying the groundwork for the river. He's planting the seed that says, if you call now, you're going to have to call big later. This is psychological compounding. Pressure applied in stages. Daniel is hoping that Phil did indeed hit that king on the turn, and he's going to try to make him sweat like a maniac.
He calls. The river is a jack.
Wow, Daniel is running better than Prefontaine.
Daniel value bets his trips. Phil forced to call with top 2.
Nope.
So obvious you have a 6. Got 350.
Trip 6s. Phil shows king jack for top 2. Daniel's trip 6s take 5.
Good call, good call. Good thing you didn't raise. That was smart. You know what you're doing.